ketogenic diet, Atkins diet, carnivore diet, vegan diet, you name it. There are multiple different diet types, but when we boil it down to its fundamentals and think about high performance and staying in shape, it's about leveraging 3 different levers: what you eat, how much you eat, and when you eat. So why does it feel so hard to stay in shape and eating well? Of course, there are multiple reasons for this, but oftentimes we overcomplicate our tools at disposal, and I think a more deductive style is much more applicable. We always try to find the next thing that would solve our problem. Thereby, I would say that we lose the sense of our nutrition budget. We sort of start to deviate from our strategy when we should be focusing on how many calories do you burn per day versus how many do you take in. So let's discuss the best way to set up your plate for each day so you know what you should be eating. That's step number 1, which we're going to discuss in today's video. So step number 1, what you eat. Are you eating at McDonald's? Are you eating, for instance, a vegan diet or whole foods? Well, based on literature, on average, you get the best results from a well-balanced diet. Sure, there are always these extreme outliers, but for me, the best results come from the basics. So let's break it down. What does it mean to be balanced? The best way for me to do this is by eating similar recipes each and every day, and then you can have like 5 recipes that you use. For instance, on Monday that you take recipe number 1, on Tuesday number 2, and then you can split it up so it doesn't become too monotonous. Then you want to look at your plate. What kind of recipes are you actually eating? You want 1/4 of your plate to be protein, because we know from literature it's important to eat enough protein. When you train your muscle in hypertrophy training, it breaks down the muscle, stimulating the protein synthesis, which means basically that when you eat more protein, it will repair your muscle so you can become stronger. Now, the range for this is 1.2 grams to 1.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Now, I eat at the higher range, which is 1.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, and I'm at around 78 kilos. So that's around 140 grams of protein, and I focus here on lean meats like chicken, but also like to eat, for instance, salmon, as it has a high concentration of omega-3 fatty acids. And then the bad guy, 1/4 of the plate, carbs. Don't forget your carbs. They actually get a really bad rep. They are the best source of energy when we think of an intense workout session. That doesn't mean you should be just eating a lot of carbs now. That's not what I'm saying. For instance, if you have a day off from training, you could focus on eating less carbs on that day, and then on the day that you train, you eat more carbs, because that way your body will make it available for you to do those high performance, really intense training sessions. Now, I rather focus more on complex carbohydrates, which means that I really like quinoa, sweet potato, and pasta is also fine in moderation. It's a simple carbohydrate. For instance, you can leave the simple carbohydrates and starch to the weekends. Also, make sure you get enough fiber and flavonoids, because they are hugely beneficial for our gut, as some studies already show that 80% of brain energy derives from the gut. And 2/4 of your plates, you want to focus on vegetables. So focus on basic green leaves, spinach, and one of my recent favorites are broccoli sprouts. This is something that Professor Rhonda Patrick has talked about being hugely beneficial for brain health, and it's also been shown to be anti-cancerous due to its high amounts of sulforaphane. Also, of course, I make sure to get enough good fats from fish, avocado, and so on. You want to get enough fats from your diet each day. This is really important for normal hormonal function. Again, if I'm really busy, for instance, if I'm too tired to train or an off training day, I make sure not to eat too many carbs, because when you start to eat more carbohydrates, your body usually gets more used to it. It starts to crave it. You get addicted to it. But instead, if you eat more proteins, make sure you get satiated. You will be in the right range of not eating too many carbs, for instance. So by learning a budget for your nutrition per day, you will make sure you don't lean into cravings, or for instance that your ghrelin hormone, the hunger hormone, gets too elevated, which means that you will make worse choices. Because if your plan is to stay in a calorie maintenance or deficit, then you don't want to overeat compared to how many calories you burn per day. Of course, if you want to gain weight, then you want to eat more than you burn. So essentially, it's about staying on the plan, not counting calories, making sure our bad choices don't start to compound, at least not unconsciously. And more on the recipes side, make sure you check out the newly updated Essentials program, which gives you the most bang for the buck in training as well as nutrition for high performance results. So when you combine a minimalistic diet plan with a minimalistic training program, you will start to see results. So make sure you check out this video as well as this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.